Hey crafters, I'm John, and you jumped into Guys Craft 2. So thanks for joining us. I have been talking about Christmas in July, doing some of the shopping sprees and that. I just finished a video upload about the new machine that I am so excited that we got, the Juki 2000 QVP. So that's on a separate video, but wanted to talk about the shopping spree that we were able to do at our local quilt shop just recently, and really just found some amazing buys for us. And now the problem is I have more projects than I do time, but you know, we found things like hanging with the holidays, this lunchbox quilts. I'm not sure if you all have seen this. This is actually a creator and an artist local to Arizona, to the Phoenix area. But this lunchbox quilt, Curtis actually just fell in love with the Christmas design that's on here. Of course, I like the Halloween design that's on here. It's by Lunchbox Quilt, so it gives us a chance to actually do both. I'll try to remember when I upload this to actually put the link out to the video or out to her website, but does some really great work. That's one of the things, one of the projects that I bought that we are going to get started on. The other is by going to quilt camp and that, I found out all the women are making these midi bags, and these midi bags are just adorable, all with 2-inch squares. And I'm real big on making things for my daughter, for our family, and that for Christmas. So they're probably going to end up with some of these mini bags. They actually make a Mondo bag as well. So I bought the patterns and that for the Mondo bag, the mini bag, and then they make what they call a biddy bag, which is the smallest. And that might actually really be cute for my 5-year-old granddaughter. We'll see as we go along. But I bought all the patterns for that so we could get started. A lot of the women have just finished doing the screenplay and just finished making these screen totes and that for the summer. So they're all carrying those. They're all carrying their supplies and that in there. I missed the class because unfortunately I still work full-time, so I'm not always available to go do some of these things during the week. As such, I bought that with the intent of some fabrics that we will back into that. For some reason, since we did the Halloween and I showed you that big panel that I just finished at Quilt Camp for Halloween, Curtis actually found these tote bags that are an owl design, and they're actually from like 2019, I think. But anyways, we found the pattern for these. It's called Who's Night Out. They're just really adorable, so we'll probably end up doing those at some point. And then I actually found this stand-up and tote notice at our shop as well, and just really like the sophisticated look of that. So as I get into the tote world of making bags, that's probably one that'll end up in the one of these bins to be done as well. Curtis found a winter table runner with snowmen and all that in this plaid. Really reminded him kind of that mid-century that he likes. And then he also found this extreme Santa panel, and I have not opened that yet. And if I had scissors handy, I would do so for you all. So sorry I had to step off camera, but let me open this so I can show you this panel because it really is adorable. And obviously with the Christmas holidays not that far from us now, I am going to have to start getting this kind of stuff knocked out. But again, we just really liked the appearance of this panel. And so there it is. It actually makes 2 Christmas stockings. So how cute and how cool is that going to be? So that is another project yet that we have put together for ourselves. And then so the quilt shop that's local to us was having Christmas in July. Their sister store, which is actually in Phoenix for us, is a much bigger, larger store. I took Curtis to the larger store on Saturday so we could look at you know, a lot of the stuff that we got because the smaller store doesn't have it. I had bought a bunch of really just cute fall fabric from our store here in town. This gnome, anything gnome, I love. So I fell in love with these gnomes for Thanksgiving. The colors in here are just so vibrant. I lived a few years ago up in Blacksburg, Virginia. I remember up there is a university called Virginia Tech, and they have the Virginia Tech hoagies. So I learned real quick that a hoagie is a sandwich, and a Hokie is the mascot for Virginia Tech. I also noticed that they picked the ugliest colors possible for the school colors of maroon and orange. And after living there for 8 years, not only did we become big Hokie fans, but we won't even talk about how much maroon and orange stuff that we have. And we just really fell in love with that part of Virginia and that university. So fall just reminds me of this. So I love the fact that it's got so much maroon, orange, and all the different colors in there. We're big on dog patterns. This one happened to have like Irish setters and Scotties and golden retrievers on this nice green, olive green background. This one is called, and I'm going to try to do better about telling you all that. It's a Kaufman design. It's called Autumn Cats and Dogs. So we picked this up, and I tried to pick some fabrics up too that I could start making more totes. So, you know, that we have a variety to do that. I know I want to do a few more Halloween totes, especially for the grandkids as far as trick-or-treat bags and that. So trying to make sure that we have the supplies so when I sit down on the weekends to get started, instead of spending all our time in the store, spending money we don't have, instead I'll actually be working on creative things. The other pattern that I picked up was this orange and almost rust, and just really liked the appearance of it. It's called Too Cute to Spook, and actually in each one of these, or a lot of these little balls basically, are spider webs or cobwebs. And I'm kind of really liking some of this off-colored orange that they're doing this year for Halloween. So it's not all that vibrant, burnt, bright orange, but there's actually more of this fall type orange that's ending up in a lot of these patterns. So really liking this. This is by Three Wishes Fabrics. And again, you know, the store itself had every fabric 30% off for Christmas in July, and actually had some fabric was 40% off. So I just, you know, I got such a good deal as how we end up with all this fabric. Now this fall leaf fabric, again, is part of that Autumn Cats and Dogs collection, but I knew just looking at the pattern on these leaves with the acorns and these vibrant colors and that, there's so much that I can do with that. And I will tell you, I don't know why, I've kind of fallen into the routine now of 2 yards. So it seems like every time I buy fabric, I just buy 2 yards, because that seems to work out that there's plenty for me to do whatever project I want with it, but still leave enough left over that I can either do a second project or something totally different, and still probably have enough fabric. So I don't know what brought me to that conclusion. For a long time, I was buying 1.5 yards. Financially, I like the 1.5 yards better, but somehow I've convinced myself 2 yards is what we need to do. Also found this pattern of pumpkins, almost like in a hayfield, and really like that because each of them, you know, every so often the pumpkin face is actually painted. Not all the faces are identical, and it's a nice big pattern that we can do something with. And again, like I said, I want to do some of the totes in that. I want to do some trick-or-treat bags and all of those different things. So because of that, I've tried to find some things that were different and starting to build a collection for us, because it does seem like I tend to pick a lot of the same stuff, and then when we get Curtis involved, he tends to pick some of the same stuff. And so as a result, when I go and look at the shelves, it seems like it's all the same stuff sitting there. This candy corn pattern, I have had before. It's by Northcutt. I love this candy corn. There's so much that I can do with this, and it makes a cute lining just for the trick-or-treat bag. So I went on and bought 2 more yards of this, even though I've had it, just because I know it's so versatile. And this one was 40% off. So because I knew it was so versatile, because it was a good price, I just went on and grabbed more of it. Even though I already have some of this sitting on the shelf, I don't have that much left. And so it's just too versatile for us. The other 2 that I bought are the Sky, and this is on a purple background, and it's all these crescent moons. Again, it's a Northcutt fabric, and it's called Gnome's Night Out is the name of the pattern. So, and like I said, I've told you many times I like gnomes. So again, no surprise that I bought this. 2 things I like. I like purple and I like gnomes. So I picked this up, but I also picked this up because I knew it would be very versatile. Again, this would make a really cute lining for a tote bag or something, or I can really make a nice sash with it or borders with it on a project. And so I picked that up, and then I picked the sister up of it, which is the same exact pattern, except it's on a black background. So it's got the black background, and instead of having black stars, it has the purple stars. So again, something that just complements, and something that I know would be a nice neutral for any Halloween type project that we're doing, and keeps me from having to use some solids. I try to stay away from using a lot of solids. I like more playfulness. My children will tell you I have always been a Toys R Us kid, and I will continue to be that kid that never grew up. And so I think that's reflected in some of the patterns, some of the work, some of the things that I like to do. So that said, that is all the fabric that I purchased and that I picked up in Christmas in July. Then we took Curtis to the big store, and Curtis goes, don't I get to shop? Don't I get to look for fabric? Having no idea what I'd already purchased. And first thing out of the box, he found this Fa La 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 pattern that he fell in love with. Reminded him very much of Mid-Century. And again, you know, it's a good neutral red. It's not that fire truck red. It's just a nice true red to go with anything that we want. It's called Christmas Eve, and it is by Moda. And so I had not bought this. I had seen it before, and for some reason just never did buy any. So Curtis found it. It was on sale. So yes, we picked up 2 yards of this, and I'm sure at some point as I get down by the machine, we will start putting this in some of the patterns and that we have. It really would make a cute border on some of these tote bags and that, going across the top or down in the bottom, but we'll see. So not sure exactly where that's going to fit in. I showed you the stockings that we bought. These stockings, and I'm trying to look for the name again. Wow. You know, when you want to find the name, you can't. Extreme Santa. So that same pattern called Extreme Santa, well, they made the fabric for it with a blue background. And so as such, it's a Northcutt fabric. I am not, at this point, a fabric snob. I do understand the difference between buying some less expensive fabric at Joann's and what that looks like compared to supporting my local quilt stores and the quality differences in fabric. I will tell you, I seem to buy a lot of Robert Kaufman. For some reason, I like his fabric. I also tend to buy some Modas. And for some reason, I seem to buy a lot of Northcutt. So when it comes to just the playfulness and the patterns in general, it really does seem like Northcutt always seems to capture my attention. Don't know why, but do like a lot of the Northcutt stuff. He also found this holly pattern. And again, this green in that, it's a nice neutral. It's kind of on a light gray background. It's interesting because for some reason, this doesn't scream holly to me as much as I think poinsettias. Curtis does not like poinsettias. So when he brought this to me, I just had to laugh. It's a Moda design, and it's part of that Christmas Eve collection where the fa la 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 was out of. So again, we bought this. This will make a beautiful border sash in that for us to use in some of the quilts and some of the patterns that we hopefully will get going this weekend. I really would like to spend more time now sitting down and just knocking out projects versus shopping. We spend too much time shopping. At the same time, I have 4 tops that are completed, 3 panels plus a full-size quilt completed as far as the tops, and I need to get those on a machine and get those quilted and get those binded so we would be done. Another Christmas pattern we bought is mid-century. Again, this blue, this green, all of these olive colors that really support that mid-century feel. This one is called, this is part of that Extreme Santa. So again, it's Northcut, and it's part of that Extreme Santa collection. So as you can see, as I'm telling you some of these names now, it does seem that we really favor Northcut for some reason. And again, we're not endorsed. You know, we're way too new to this to even have enough attention by a fabric maker or anyone else to receive any type of endorsements in that. We don't do that. We do this because we enjoy it, and we thought it would be fun to share our journey as we're trying to figure this out with you all out in the YouTube world. So we're not trying to make money or do anything like that other than just share some of our experiences. Another pattern that we bought is this reindeer and Santa on this green. Curtis fell in love with it. It's 3 Wishes fabric, and the name of it is Snow and Hot Cocoa. I will tell you, it was not my favorite. I don't like the way the reindeer looks in this pattern. Curtis fell in love with it, so we ended up with it because he liked it, and I have learned, both of us have really, with making the wreaths and doing table arrangements and centerpieces and that what we like is not always what everyone else likes, and what we think may look a little different or be a little off is something someone else finds just beautiful and attractive. So I have learned when he likes something, I just kind of grin and go, yep, looks good. But again, it's that reindeer on here that just looks a little off to me. And then we bought the other piece of the hot cocoa, which is this full scale with snow and hot cocoa, with the reindeer, with the elves and the elf shoes and cocoa cups and all of that. I did like this better, I guess, because the reindeer don't look as prominent in this. Not really sure, but I did get this. And again, Curtis liked it. I may end up doing more of like a 3-yard quilt with this and using these pieces as the like 8-inch squares, and so that people can really see this pattern, and then you know, put some sash and borders around it to make the rest of it pop. So that said, we'll get that figured out. I do like the 3-yard quilts. I cheat because I don't like cutting fabric. It bores me, and it just seems very laborious. So that's why we have an AccuQuilt. So we base a lot of our designs in that on the AccuQuilt itself. And then the other 2 things that we bought were pre-cut, 2-yard pre-cuts. And we are big fans of Golden Girls. So when we saw this, and these were, I think, 50% off already and reduced even more, it was too good a bargain not to pick these up. This pattern is by Andover Fabrics, and wow, I don't know. It says created by Jane Dixon, for Andover, but I don't see a pattern name on here. If it is, I'm just missing it. Sorry about that. We're big fans of Golden Girls, and so this just reminded us of Blanche Devereaux in that all those palms and swigs and swags and that in her bedroom. So we've always kind of liked that palm illusion just from her. I'm in love with pink flamingos and that, and this palm pattern seems to just really go with those. So we'll figure out what we end up doing with this. This will go on the shelf, I can tell you, until probably Christmas. We won't start doing anything spring and summer like probably until October, November. And then we found this frog pattern, and this frog pattern was just too darn cute not to pick up. And so again, it was part of that pre-cut 2 yards. This is Camo Mix. Greta Lynn for Canvas did this. And I have seen, when I've opened some fabrics and looked at it, that Canvas, that Canvas, I have bought some other fabrics from them as well, but not as many. Like I said, for some reason, Northcut always seems to end up in our stash somewhere, but I have bought some of this Canvas as well. These frogs were just too cute. We just had to have this. I won't do anything, like I said, until probably October, November with this, but it was just too cute not to pick up. So that is all the fabric that we have acquired in our latest shopping spree. I hope that you've enjoyed me going through trying to share a little bit with you. We hope as our subscriber base grows that we'll be able to do more lives and actually do these together, so you get to see Curtis a little bit more. I know we plan on doing some centerpieces for Thanksgiving. Just got in some really cute pumpkins that we're going to start putting together for Halloween. So we'll be sharing some of that. We do things other than quilting. Sorry about those that only are interested in the quilting. We'll make sure that we put that in the title for you. But we do like a lot of crafting and a lot of variety. Quilting has kind of become our mainstay, but we do some other things as well. So with that said, I appreciate if you joined me today. I appreciate all the subscribers and that we're getting. Emails have been so supportive and mean so much to us. If you like what we're doing, hit that thumbs up for us. Please hit the subscribe button and help build that subscriber base for us. But until next time, happy crafting.